Technique 4. Set up a study plan. There is a distinct difference between being efficient and being effective. We must learn to differentiate one from another. Being effective means doing the steps and actions needed to accomplish your goals. Being efficient is the most economical way of completing a task, whether it is important or not. In other words, results versus activity. We are aiming at gaining the best results in the smallest amount of time. We do not care about activity. Activity can mean doing a bunch of things that look like you're busy, but in reality are not getting you any results. If you work less, you can concentrate on other things in life. Working less does not mean you're lazy. You are conscious about what is needed to succeed and one step ahead of your exams. This is hard to accept for most people, since our culture rewards sacrifice rather than personal productivity. A boss would rather see you come to work at 8 o'clock sharp and stay till the last one at the office than you coming at noon, finishing up at 15 and having the same amount of work done as everyone else. It is the same with studying. Students sitting behind their desk for 12 hours every day get more respect than students working 5 hours a day and getting the same results. Even if you don't make it, your mom will be proud if you don't have a social life and study in your room every day and apparently doing the impossible and going for it. People do not reward the students who do it in the least amount of time. They reward the ones that work the hardest. Let me tell you that sitting behind your desk for 12 hours a day is not doing you any good and will not help you succeed in your exams. More hours do not equally mean more results. To be able to work at your best, you must first understand how your body works. From there on, you can create a routine that gets the best out of yourself and keeps wasted hours away. In order to achieve the best results, we must be able to visualize a plan that uses our time in the most effective way possible. That is why we are going to set up a study plan. The study plan is simple. 1. Figure out how many hours a day you are able to study. 2. Find out how many hours you need for a course. Then, make a plan. It is that simple. Believe me, this is one of the best things you can do. Figure out how many hours a day you're able to study. Be honest to yourself and do not write any number higher than needed. The goal is to become aware of your body rhythm. This is essential since you'll be able to understand your capacities and use them in the best way possible. This will bring you one step further to your ideal study plan. As a guideline, I can tell you that I study effectively for about 4 to 6 hours a day. If you have trouble choosing a number, I recommend 5 hours. Side note, be aware that I am talking about uninterrupted hours of studying. I am not counting the breaks in between. You have to do that for yourself. If you tell yourself you can work 8 hours a day, that is okay with me. However, during those 8 hours, you are not watching YouTube clips, eating a meal, or calling up a friend. We are talking about real studying here. 2. Find out how many hours of studying you need for each course. For a regular course, I usually need about 20 to 25 hours of real studying. For a big course, I need to double those hours to 50. If I have something to do with math or complicated economics, it could take me up to 100 hours or more to pass my exam. Each course is different and will need your personal judgment. The study plan. Now that you know how many hours you are capable of studying and how much time you need to pass an exam, you can set up your study plan. This is probably the easiest thing you can do from this manual that will improve your chances of succeeding radically. Although it sounds simple, there is more to it than meets the eye. A human understands a structure better when he can see it visually. Figuring it out in the mind and thinking about it is not enough. You have to make it visual. If you would think about what you've spent your money on this last month, you'd probably have a general idea about it, but if you would make a graph and see it in front of you, you would probably be surprised where your money went. This is why people who diet and write down their weight every day lose more in general. They can see if the numbers are changing or not. If everything stays the same, they know they have to do something different. If you cannot see it visually, you might have an idea, but it won't be as strong as a graph or actual numbers on tangible paper. That is why we are going to make a program for our exam period and are going to hang it somewhere visible. Now we can be constantly reminded and aware of the structure we have to follow in order to succeed. Although this study program is obvious for some of us, I saw many of my fellow students who didn't really plan out their exams and usually get into time trouble a few days before the actual exam. Setting up a program on beforehand also minimizes surprises and possible extra long hours during your exam period, which will eventually be better for your grades and make your life at college more pleasant since you know what's coming. Side notes. Create your study plan 2 months before your exam period. Avoid studying for 2 courses on the same day. Focus only on 1 course a day. Maintain a social life next to your studying. Check out the study tips for further explanation. The day of the exam is considered as a resting day once the exam is done. Calculate lost hours in your program. When a student studied his material with a significant amount of time between his study days and exam, he will have to make up for the hours he lost. Let's say person A studied for 5 hours one day before the exam, and person B studied 5 hours 1 week before the exam. Person A will have better results in comparison to person B. He will have a fresher memory. Person A will most likely achieve a better grade than person B on his exam. They both studied for the same amount of time, but person B forgot or lost some of his material during that week. He should have revised for 1 or 2 hours the day before the exam to refresh his memory and be completely ready for it. That's why if you set up a study plan and intend to hit the books for a course many days in advance, you'll have to calculate an extra study day to make up for lost hours. This is, for example, important when you have 2 big exams on 2 days. Another example can be that you have an important activity planned in your study days. You'll need to study for a few hours extra to pass while maintaining your activity. Be aware that there is no such thing as the perfect study plan. Every plan will be different according to the student and their needs. Technique 4. Structure your exam period by setting up a study plan.